Bots and Books fans, this is Scorp1701, and I would like to welcome you to day one of our 5-part awesome series entitled The Bodacious Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 40th Anniversary Week-Long Review Spectacular! Oh, yes, that was a mouthful, but that is what we're going to be doing all week. We are going to be celebrating the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 40th Anniversary by looking at some awesome Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toys and reviewing them, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, some of these figures that we're going to look at this week were put out specifically to celebrate the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 40th Anniversary. Some were not, but that doesn't mean that they aren't still awesome turtle products. And without further ado, the first item that we're going to take a look at is the brand new Playmates Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Original Sketch Leonardo Turtle. Yes! And you probably knew that by looking at the thumbnail, but this is Leonardo from the Sketch series, and they do have Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael, but Leonardo is my main man, and if I was going to review any of them, it would have to be Leonardo. So, jumping into this awesome packaging, you have the 40th anniversary logo right up here at the top. You have Nickelodeon. You can see the weird looking Leonardo in there with his katanas and accessories. You have original sketch reprint included. Playmates, warning, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles original sketch Leonardo on the top of the box. Now this is really interesting. You can see two awesome pictures of turtles, and they don't look anything like the sketch head, but these are the first turtles that were actually created by Eastman and Laird. That's correct. Kevin Eastman did grace us with this one, and Peter Laird did create this one, and they took little bits from both to create the sketch turtles that we are going to look at tonight. You have Nickelodeon, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles logo there. On the left side of the box, you have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Leonardo figure based on the original sketch. It includes original sketch reprint and display stand, and you can see Leonardo there. On the other side of the box, you have Nickelodeon, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Collect all four to recreate the iconic sketch, and that is really neat. That's all four of them there. On the bottom of the box, you do have some credits for the box and a barcode if you're interested in that. And finally, coming around to the back of the packaging, you can see the Nickelodeon symbol here, the original sketch turtle from Peter Laird, the original sketch turtle from Kevin Eastman, and you have this sketch that the figures that we're going to look at tonight is based on, original sketch reprint included, and the birth of the Ninja Turtles. So we can zoom in and you can see that little read up of the original start of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You could pause that and read that to your heart's content, but we must be moving onward and outward, and that is going to be our sketch turtle in the box, and I don't want to see the sketch Leonardo in the box, and I know you don't, so let's get him out and see how bodaciously cool he is. And here we have sketch Leonardo out of the packaging. Now the packaging, he stands approximately 4.5 inches tall. He comes with his katanas and sheaths. He comes with a nice little sewer diorama piece. He comes with a broken canister of ooze, and he comes with this awesome little sketch of the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that is really cool. Let's go ahead and zoom in on that. And as you can see, the turtles looked a little different than how we know them today, but this is back in 1983 with the first concepts, and that's usually going to be a very strange version of what we all come to know and love. So that is really neat. You can see Michelangelo there in the back. You got Donatello over to the left, Leonardo in the center, and Raphael to the right, and that is really neat. And it's interesting to note that if you pick up these figures, some of them are going to come with different accessories than what you're accustomed to, and that would be pretty neat. But tonight we're only going to be taking a look at Leonardo, and he comes with his standard katanas like normal. So with that being said, let's take a look at this heroic leader himself. And coming in real close on Leonardo's head. Now this is a very mature looking Leonardo. The head is more triangulish than you normally would get in your standard Ninja Turtles of today. You have the eyes that are very close together in the center of the head. I like that. The bandana is a beautiful blue, and coming to the basic face and head sculpt of the turtle, you do got a little bit of detail in there. You have a little bit of teeth showing on both sides of the mouth, and that is pretty neat. Coming around to the side, no ears, but that's okay. Turtles don't have ears. And you can make the argument turtles don't have teeth either, but that's all right. Going to the back, you see the bandana tied together up here at the top, and that is really neat. Again, the detail on the head itself is all neat, and it's kind of going to be like that new texture of the turtles, because we're going to see that again later this week. But anyway, right now, that is what the head sculpt looks like. Let's zoom out a little bit. You can see he's got a very nice long neck coming down to his body, and we'll zoom out a little bit so we can see the torso. And that shell is done in a nice yellowish orange. You got some nice tune marks on it. I like that. Little arms coming out from the side, and you got a blue elbow pad, so that is really cool. Coming down to some very large hands. So I don't know, the proportions on the guy isn't that great, but you know, it was a cartoon animated turtle. I think they said, well, he's gonna need big hands. Coming down, he does have a brown belt. Now, there is no initial on this belt, but it's just a regular belt. You got it tied here in the front. It's actually a single piece, but cut into two parts. So as you go around, you can see that it's kind of doubled up. You got one top layer and a lower level, and then coming to the back, you have these holes to peg katana sheaths into. The shell is a nice dark green. You got some nice detail in it, broken up into little sections with whirlies and swirlies, and that is pretty neat. Coming back to the front, you got the legs coming down here and the tail sticking out in the middle. Yes, that is a tail. That's all it is. It's all it's always been. And then you got the green legs coming down to the blue knee pads, and then the very large two-toed feet. So that is pretty neat. On the bottom, it's just hollow. You got some peg holes where you can plant the turtle on the base. And that is pretty much what your Leonardo is going to look like. And the design is really cool. They really captured the sketch and what the turtles look like from the original concept, but they also added in some of the modern colorization, because he is the same color that original Leonardo toy is, with the dark greens and the blues and the shell colors. Now, if everybody remembers, the original Ninja Turtles all wore red bandanas, and you really couldn't distinguish them anyway except by the weapons they carried. So yeah, that is pretty neat, and this guy looks awesome. All right, moving on. And for our articulation, starting at the head. Now, the head is really cool because it's built into the neck joint. It's not a single independent head, so whenever you turn the head, which you can 360 degrees, the whole neck joint has to come with it. And at the bottom of the neck, it is hinged, so you can get the head to go down a long way and it can come back up. But there's not really any wiggle waggle left or right movement into it, since it is a solid piece. So it's kind of limited in what you could do with the head, but I do like the ability to move it forward and back like you can, so that is really cool. Coming to the shoulders can come up from the body all the way and then back down. They can go around 360 degrees, and that will bring you down to your elbow bend, which is right here, right below the elbow pad, and it's about 90 degrees, so that is pretty cool. And that elbow bend is built into like a forearm rotation, so you can go 360 degrees around with that, coming down to your huge honking hand, and the hand can go around 360 degrees. It is not hinged, so that's pretty much all you're going to get is 360 degrees. And that will bring us to the center of the body. Now, this is just basically a solid piece. There is no waist articulation, no ab crunch or anything. It's basically a shell. What do you expect? Turtles can't bend at the waist. And coming down to the legs can come up with a little bit of effort, so not too much. And then they can go back down on this hinge right here. Can't go back because the shell gets in the way, but you do get 360 degrees of thigh rotation. Coming down to your knee bend, which is right below the knee pad, it does basically get you back a long way. It's almost like a foot bend because it takes the whole foot with it. And like the forearm, it is built into a rotation, so that is kind of also like a boot cut, which will give you 360 degrees. And that is basically it. There is no toe articulation, nothing like that. The tail just sticks here, and it is soft plastic, so it can, you know, move if you push it around a little bit, but that's about it. And I think for what he is and the smallness of the figure, I think that's pretty good articulation, especially considering the original Ninja Turtles that came out from Playmates didn't have this much articulation in them. All right, moving on. And for Leonardo's first accessories, we're going to take a look at his katanas and the sheaths. Now, at first glance, you would say that these katanas and sheaths are the same. And for the katanas, you're correct. But the sheaths are going to be slightly different. Now, they are both done in this awesome brown plastic, and they got some cool designs on them, and that is really neat. But if you take a real close look on the straps, then you'll see that one of the straps has a large peg, whereas the second one has a smaller peg built on the opposite side of the sheath. And that is to accommodate for the ports in Leonardo's belt. So you can post them. You'd probably want the shorter one in the short solid hole here, and you'd probably want the longer one in the more protrusive hole right here. But that's just my opinion of where you want to put them. It's your toys. You can put them wherever you want. So coming to the swords themselves, the katanas have a very animated and wacky handle, and that is supposed to be curved like that. It looks like a very bad drawing, and they're nice and blue, and you have some gold up here for the top, and they just come right out of the sheath, and they're done in a nice gray plastic. And that is pretty cool for a design, and it's really all you need for a katana. And Leonardo can hold these and attack with these, and he can technically use both hands to hold them, and that is really cool and what it's supposed to be because it's what he did in the sketch. And another cool thing about these sheaths are you could put the sword in either side that you wanted. So you can put it up here, which I think is supposed to be where it goes, but you could also put it in from this side if you're so inclined. So however you want to wear your sword or display your sword, it can be done with these cool little sheath holders. All right, and that is going to be Leonardo's sheaths and katanas. And Leonardo's next accessory is this little broken canister of ooze, and it's pretty neat. It is a single piece with the canister of ooze molded into it. So you got the canister painted with this nice silver and blue, and the whole piece itself is just a green plastic, and you have the little designs of the ooze kind of molded in there, and that's cool. On the bottom there's really nothing there, but it sits flat wherever you want to put it and have other characters interact with it, so that is pretty neat. And finally, Leonardo comes with this little diorama part. It's basically a stand, some black top, you got a sewer cover there, and a peg for Leonardo to stand on, and it's okay. Got some nice detail in there, and you got little slots on both of these sides to connect to the other turtle's base pieces, so that is cool. Turning around, you do have the turtle's name on the bottom here. It says Leo, so you won't forget which base belongs to which turtle, so that is really neat. And that's going to wrap it up for Leonardo's accessories. Moving on. And for comparison, he comes in at number 3 in our line of Leonardos, which include the original Leonardo, the Mutant Mayhem Leonardo, the NECA Toon Leonardo, the Super 7 Leonardo, and the NECA Movie Leonardo. And I think he has a little bit of characteristics with the others when it comes to color and design. Of course, he has a place because he was the first, technically, and I think he looks good scaled with the others, and I'm happy to have him in my Leonardo collection. Alright, moving on. And this has been the Playmates Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 40th Anniversary Original Sketch Leonardo figure. And this was a very unique, very odd little turtle. And I can't think of a better way to celebrate 40 years of Turtles than to release a figure of an original sketch of how they looked when they first came out back in 1983. They were a lot different back then, but you can see that for the most part, a lot of the original designs stuck, and it's still recognizable today, because if I was to take a look at this, I'd say, yeah, that's Leonardo. Even though the original comic was black and white, and when it did colorize, they were all wearing red bandanas, and the only distinguishing feature about them was their weapons, but still, I think it's really nice. And there was an exclusive set at the San Diego Comic-Con this year, if you happen to pick those up. They looked more original than this guy does, but that's okay. I still like the original toy colors for Leonardo here. I also like the sculpt and mold of him, even though he has huge hands and feet, which I think make him more stabilized, so there's not really much need for a base, even though they included one, which I guess is neat, so because you can connect them with the other 3. The mutagen canister is pretty neat as well. Always nice to know where they came from. The katanas and the sheaths are neat. I like the interchangeable and the playability with the sheaths. The katanas being all warped is really fun, and I like the way he could hold the katanas with both hands like the actual sketch drawing. The articulation for a figure this small was really good. Again, love the head. Being able to go up and down like it does is really fun, and that's pretty much it. This was a great little figure, very niche, very different, and that's going to wrap up the review of the original sketch Leonardo figure. If you are looking for this particular figure, the only place I've been able to find him was at Target, and he will go for approximately $15 if you can find him on the shelf. Ever since these guys came out, they have been flying off the shelf, so it's gonna be kind of hard to locate them, but if you're looking, happy hunting. And that's also gonna wrap it up for the first day of the Bodacious Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle 40th Anniversary Week-Long Review Spectacular, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and tune in tomorrow where we'll be reviewing some more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys. Alright guys, have a great night, and until next time, keep playing.
Ninja Turtles, heroes in a half shell, turtle power.